that third eye gaze. Doing a quick check-in with your body. Releasing any tension in your shoulders, your jaw. If you want to gently just shake your head, make sure you're not holding anything in your jaw. Giving your shoulders a nice roll back. Bringing your awareness to that third eye gaze in between your eyebrows and the center of your forehead. Finding your breath, breathing in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth or the nose. Whatever feels more natural. Finding your own rhythmic breath. Bringing that right ear over to the right shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in. Exhaling. Rolling the chin down through the chest, bringing the left ear over to the left shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in. And exhaling. Rolling the chin back down through the center, right ear, back over to the right shoulder. Head back to its natural upright position. Rolling the shoulders back a few times and forward. And once again, sitting in our comfortable seats. If you'd like to set an intention for today's practice, or just set a special thought out into the universe. And if you'd like to join me in one Om to open our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Coming into child's pose. Getting any props out of your way. Arms extended long, big toes touching, knees wide open, sitting back on the heels, forehead to the mat. Still focusing on that breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth or the nose. I'm just continuing our music. I'm not checking my phone or anything. Inhaling and exhaling. On an inhale, coming up to hands and knees. Exhale, tabletop. If you want to give your tail a little wag side to side. And then coming back to center. On an inhale, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhale, right arm threading through the left, either to the right palm, elbow, or shoulder. Maybe resting that right ear on the mat if that feels okay. Just stopping wherever feels like enough for you. Breathing. Inhaling up to hands and knees, exhale, tabletop. Maybe another little wag of the tail. And then then coming back to center. On your next inhale, left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhaling, left arm threading through the right, either to the left palm, elbow, or shoulder. Maybe resting that left ear on the mat if that feels okay. Breathing. And inhaling up to hands and knees. Exhale, tabletop. From here, we're going to extend our right leg out behind us, tucking the right toes under on the mat or the floor, pressing, pressing back with that right heel. Then coming back to neutral. Next, left arm comes out, left bicep next to the left ear. Staying here or maybe elevating that right leg off the mat. Flexing that right foot, hips in line, drawing in strong through your root, your pelvic floor. And then just taking a few breaths here. And then we're going to bring that right knee back down to next to the left and left hand back down next to the right, hands and knees. Next, our left leg extends out behind us, tucking our left toes under on the mat or the floor, pressing back with that left heel. Right arm comes out in front of us, right bicep next to the right ear. Staying just like this if this feels like enough, or maybe elevating that left leg off the mat. Flexing left foot, hips in line, drawing in strong through your root, your pelvic floor. And then just taking a few breaths here. And then bringing that left knee back down, right hand back down, hands and knees. Big toes touching, knees open, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Keeping in mind, you can always come back to this child's pose anytime during today's practice. If you're feeling lightheaded or dizzy, or need a little break, it's always available. On an inhale, coming up to hands and knees. As we exhale, we're going to tuck our toes under, lifting our knees off the mat, drawing the hips up and back to downward dog. Lifting up and back with the hips, attempting to get the heels on the mat, not mandatory. Feet are wider than hips width. Big toes in line with one another. Thumbs are parallel, hands are about shoulders distance, really grounding down through the palms of the hands, pressing all your knuckles into the floor, giving the shoulders a nice roll back so the insides of your elbows face one another. And then drawing back with your hips again so your ears are in line with your biceps. Maybe keeping a soft bend in your knees if you're feeling any pressure. You want to gently shake your head no to relieve any tension in the neck. Remembering to breathe. From here, we're going to move our right hand a few feet towards our left hand, and we're going to step our right foot through to about a 90-degree bend. We can always use that right hand to help walk that right foot through. And we can either pivot our left heel in or not. So we can either stay on the ball of our left heel or pivot that left heel in, and then maybe use our right hand and then our left hand to come up to standing. So we're going to make our way up to standing. Our hips are facing forward. Straight arms next to the ears. Warrior one right side. Grounding down through that left heel if it feels comfortable to come onto that left heel. Otherwise, we can stay on that. We can stay on the ball of that left foot if that feels more stable for you. But for me, it feels more comfortable to pivot that left heel in. Our hips are facing as forward as feels safe in our hips. Straight arms next to our ears, breathing. And then from here, we're going to bring our right forearm to the top of our right thigh. And we're going to reach up and over with our left arm. Our left arm is reaching past our right toes. We're slightly opening our chest towards our left. Breathing. On an inhale, we're going to turn the face to the mat. Exhale, bringing our left hand to the inside of our right foot. Right hand to the outside of our right foot, pivoting our left heel out. Both hands planted. Right leg coming back to meet the left. Push up or hands and knees. And then we're going to lift our hips up and back to downward dog once again. If you want to pedal a few steps, just breathing. From here, we're going to bring our left hand a few feet towards our right hand, stepping that left foot through to about a 90-degree bend. You can use your left hand to help navigate that left foot through, maybe pivoting that right heel in or not, and then maybe using your left hand and then your right hand to make your way up to standing. Hips facing forward, straight arms next to the ears, warrior one left side. Grounding down through that right heel, lifting up through your left quad. Relaxing the shoulders, active arms. Breathing. From here, we're going to bring our left forearm to the top of our left thigh, reaching up and across with our right arm. Right arm reaching past our left toes, slightly opening our chest towards our right. Breathing. Inhaling, turning to face the mat. Exhale, right hand on the inside of the left foot, left hand on the outside of the left foot. Pivoting the right heel out, both hands firmly planted. The left leg comes back to meet the right, push up or hands and knees. If you have it in your practice to take a chaturanga, otherwise just making your way back to downward dog. I'm gonna turn this way so my back isn't facing the camera. So we're once again meeting in down dog. On an inhale, right foot steps through, left heel pivots in. The left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. We're gonna make our way up to standing. This time your hips are facing forward, arms extended wide. We have a slightly wider stance this time. Our right knee is in line with our right second toe. Arms drawing away from each other. If you want to step that left foot back slightly to have a little wider of a stance that feels comfortable. Gazing over that right middle finger. If you want to roll your shoulders back and extend them away. Breathing. On an inhale, straighten that right knee. Exhale, pivoting your hips towards your left. Reaching forward with the right arm, either to your calf, ankle, your right foot, whatever's available. The left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening the shoulders, gazing inside that left palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front right knee if you're feeling any pressure, engaging your root, your pelvic floor, as you breathe. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending that right knee once again through warrior two. And then we're gonna straighten the right knee, reaching up and back with the right arm. Left hand sliding to the back of the left thigh. Opening up those right ribs. Breathing into that right lung. Inhale, exhale, bending the right knee, right arm coming up and down outside of the right foot, left arm cartling around inside of the right foot, pivoting the left heel out, both hands planted, right leg comes back to meet the left, push up or hands and knees, optional Chaturanga Downward Dog. And then I'm gonna switch sides so my back isn't facing you, but we're all in down dog, hopefully. Inhaling, left foot steps through, right heel pivots in. Our right arm comes back, left arm comes forward, stronger bend in that left knee, hips are facing forward, our right foot is parallel to the back of our mat. Our left knee is in line with our left second toe, arms drawing away from each other. If you want to roll your shoulders back and then extend them away, gazing over that left middle finger. Breathing. And inhaling, straighten the left knee, exhale, pivoting your hips towards your right. Reaching forward with the left arm, either to your calf, ankle, maybe your foot, whatever's there. Right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening the shoulders, gazing inside that right palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front left knee if you're feeling any pressure, engaging your root. Breathing. Inhaling, coming back up. Exhale, bending that left knee through warrior two once again. And then straighten the left knee, reaching up and back with the left arm. Right hand slide in the back of the right thigh. Opening up those left ribs. Breathing into that left lung. Inhale, exhale, bending the left knee, left arm coming up and down outside the left foot, right arm inside the left foot, pivoting the right heel out. Both hands planted, left leg comes back to meet the right, push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog, back to downward dog. From here, we're gonna kick our right leg up towards the ceiling, pointing the right toes. We could always bring the left knee down to the mat if that feels more supportive. Bending that right knee, opening our hips towards the right if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Maybe giving that right knee a stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise. And then coming back to center. From here, we're going to draw our right knee through our center, opening up to a figure four, resting the outside of the right foot, resting the right knee on the mat, keeping our weight centered, sliding our left leg along behind. Once you've come far enough, coming to the top of that left knee, top of the left foot, making sure to keep your weight centered, staying here with straight arms, or maybe coming down to your forearms. You can stack your fists, resting your forehead on the stack or on a block. You can even take your left hand and try to adjust your right foot and make it a little more parallel to the front of your mat. If you have a block, you can place it under that hip, whatever feels best in your body. If this posture, if this pigeon does not feel good for you, another option would be to come to your back and cross your right ankle over. I have a battery pack, but cross your right ankle over your left knee and you'll be lying flat on your back. So whatever feels best for you. We'll hang out here for a few breaths. Just making sure to not collapse onto that right side. You want to keep your weight centered. If it feels too intense, you can always come up to straight arms or place a prop under that hip. Few more breaths here. On your next inhale, straightening your arms, coming to flat palms. Exhaling, rolling over to that right hip, swinging your left leg around, making your way into cross-legged, rolling forward, stepping back to hands and knees or plank, optional chaturanga, downward dog, either through hands and knees or plank, lifting up and back to down dog. And then we're going to kick that same right leg up that we just pigeoned, just to bring some fresh blood to circulate back to that artery. And then we're going to bend that right knee, opening our hip towards the right, giving it a stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise, just to get some fresh blood pumping there. And then coming back to center, we're going to bring that right leg back down. If you want to pedal your feet a few times. Taking a few breaths in your down dog. Reset. And then when you feel ready, kicking that left leg up towards the sky, pointing the left toes. We could always bring that right knee down to the mat if that feels more supportive. Bending that left knee, opening our hips towards the left side wall if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Maybe giving that left knee a stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise. And then coming back to center. We're going to draw the left knee through our center, hovering over the backs of our hands, opening our left shin to a figure four. Resting the left knee on the mat, keeping our weight centered. Sliding that right leg long behind, coming down to the top of that right knee, top of the right foot. We can use our right hand to adjust, trying to make our left calf thing a little more parallel to the front of the mat. Mine will never be perfectly parallel. Some people just have that in their bone anatomy. I don't. Keeping your your weight centered. Staying here if this feels like enough, or maybe coming down to your forearms. You can stack your fists, resting your forehead on the stack or on a block. And you can also place a block under that left hip. Or if this is painful for you in your knees or your hips, you can always come to your back and cross that left ankle over the right knee and come into a figure four that way. So hopefully everyone's found an option that works for them. We'll be hanging out here for a few breaths. Two more breaths here. On your next inhale, straightening your arms, coming to flat palms, removing any blocks, rolling over to that left hip, swinging your right leg around, making your way into cross-legged, rolling forward, stepping back to hands and knees or plank, optional chaturanga, maybe not, maybe so, whatever feels best for you. And then making your way back to downward dog, whichever way feels best in your body. And then from here, we're gonna kick that left leg up again to circulate some fresh blood, bending that left knee, opening our hips towards the left, just giving it a stir one way, and then the other. And then coming back to neutral, bringing that left leg back down, and then pedaling our feet a few times. And then stopping the pedaling and just taking a few breaths here. Seeing how we feel. I feel good. Hope you guys do too. We're gonna step our right foot through our hands into a 90-degree bend. Knee directly over the ankle. Our left toes can stay tucked under with the left knee elevated, or we can release the left knee on top of the left foot. Hands can stay on either side of the right leg, or we can try bringing them to the top of the right thigh if that feels okay. And left knee can stay elevated, or we can bring the left knee back to the ground if that feels more comfortable. Drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward. Breathing. And then choosing to stay forward facing, or we can take a twist, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right quad, hands together in prayer, twisting, gazing just past that right elbow, or keeping our gaze down towards the mat. And left knee to the mat is always an option. If you've taken the twist, coming back to forward facing, one hand on each side of the right foot, releasing the left knee to the mat, top of the left foot, drawing your weight back, extending your right toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you. Maybe you can sit all the way on that left heel. Maybe it feels better to hover over your right knee. Maybe you want to reach for your right foot, whatever feels best in your body. Breathing. On an inhale, coming to the top of that left knee, exhale, rolling that right foot down, a flat foot, bringing the right knee back to meet the left, toes touching, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Inhaling up to hands and knees. As we exhale, tucking the toes under, lifting our knees off the mat, drawing the hips up and back to down dog. On our next inhale, stepping that left foot through, coming into a 90-degree bend in that left knee. Knee directly over the ankle. Right toes can stay tucked under with the right knee elevated, or we can release the right knee on top of the right foot if that feels more stable. Hands can stay on either side of the left foot, or we can try bringing them to the top of the left thigh, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward. Breathing. And right knee can come down to the mat at any point. And then choosing to stay forward facing, or we take a twist, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left quad, hands together in prayer, twisting, gazing just past that left elbow, or keeping our gaze down towards the mat. If you've taken the twist, coming back to forward facing, one hand on each side of your left foot, releasing your right knee to the mat, top of the right foot, drawing your weight back, extending your left toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you, maybe all the way in your right heel, maybe hovering over your left knee if you want to reach for your left foot, whatever feels best in your body. On an inhale, coming to the top of that right knee, exhale, lowering that left foot down, a flat foot, bringing the left knee back to meet the right, toes touching, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. On an inhale, making your way up to hands and knees. As you exhale, we're going to draw our shoulders a little more forward in the backs of our hands, walking our knees back slightly, bending our elbows, keeping them close to the rib cage, lowering all the way down to the belly. Once you've lowered all the way down, making sure there's enough room on your mat for one side of your cheek. Arms long by your sides, flip-flopping your feet a few times, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists in one direction and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths here. On an inhale, facing forward. Exhaling, extending your arms long in front. On your next inhale, we're going to take super yogi pose, also known as Superman. But feel like I call it super yogi. So on an inhale, we're going to lift all 4 limbs at once, really digging in strong through your root, letting your heart shine through. Inhale, lifting all 4 limbs off the mat at once. Taking tiny sips of air, little higher, little higher. Exhale, releasing, lowering all the way down, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other, one side of the cheek to the back of the hands. Taking a few restful breaths here. We're going to take one more of those unless you feel like you need a little break, in which case, by all means, please enjoy your break. But if you have one more super yogi in you, then on an inhale, facing forward, exhale, extending your arms long in front. One practice breath in. Exhale, next breath in, all 4 limbs off the mat at once. Letting your heart shine, shoulders back. Big smile that helps for some reason. A little higher, and releasing, lowering all the way down, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other side of the cheek to the back of the hands. Breathing. From here, we're going to bend our knees, flexing our feet. The bottoms of our feet are parallel to the ceiling. Facing forward, if you're going to windshield wiper your feet side to side a few times. Coming back to center. Reaching back with your arms, either for your heels, ankles, toes, pant legs, attempting to grab something if nothing's there, whatever's available. And then choosing to stay just like this. Or if you want to take it one step further, drawing your feet together, flexing them, using your hands to pick up your feet and your feet to pick up your hands, drawing your shoulders back, letting your heart shine through. One more breath in. And releasing, letting your legs, arms, face, breath, flip-flopping your feet, wiggling your hips, rotating your wrists one way and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths. From here, we're going to place our hands under our shoulders, facing forward, pressing ourselves up to hands and knees, and sitting back on our heels. From here, we're going to roll over to our right hip, extending our legs in front of us, making our way to our backs. Just going to remove my battery. You want to keep your knees bent and your feet planted on the mat and slowly walking yourself to your back if that feels more comfortable. Just gently making your way to your back. Knees bent, feet planted. If you want to windshield wiper your feet side to side a few times. And then coming back to center, drawing your knees to your chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, rocking side to side. Maybe in a circular motion in one direction and then the other. And then coming back to center, continuing to hug the right knee into the chest, extending the left leg long and flat on the mat. Straightening that right leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the right hamstring, giving it a gentle press. And then bending that right knee. With the left hand, we're going to draw the right knee towards the left side of our bodies. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat and then turning to face the right hand. So our left hand was drawing our right knee towards our left, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat and then turning to face our right hand. I think I said that right. On an inhale, lifting up that right knee. Exhale, coming back to your neutral spine, hugging both knees into the chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, rocking side to side. Coming back to center, continuing to hug the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg long and flat on the mat. Straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the left hamstring, giving it a gentle press. And then bending that left knee. With the right hand, we're going to draw the left knee towards the right side of our bodies. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, and then turning to face our left hand. On an inhale, lifting up that left knee. Exhale, coming back to your neutral spine, drawing both knees into your chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs. Giving yourself a nice tight bear hug, bringing your chin to your chest, forehead to your knees, making yourself into the smallest ball you can make, squeezing your eyes shut, pursing your lips, making yourself as little as possible, and then letting everything go. Legs long in front of you, arms long by your sides, flip-flopping your feet, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists in one direction and then the other, letting your shoulders melt into the mat, relaxing your jaw, your forehead. And then finally closing your eyes, making your way into the yummiest, dreamiest Shavasana. I'm going to put a mellower song on. This is time for your yoga nap. I'll let you know when it's time to come out of it. Gently begin to start wiggling your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, slowly rolling over to your right or your left side, whatever feels more natural to you. Hanging out there for a few moments. Slowly begin to flutter your eyes open and closed a few times. And when you feel ready, making your way up to seated, and we'll close our practice together today. Once again, finding your comfortable seat for the beginning of class. Closing your eyes if you'd like, finding that breath, that third eye gaze. Doing a quick check-in with your body, seeing how you're feeling now for the beginning of class, if anything shifted. And maybe taking a moment to acknowledge something or someone you're grateful for. And if you'd like to join me in one Om to close our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. Om. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.